Hey y'all, what's up? It's Lexi. I want to talk about why bearing your ugly truths at the beginning of a relationship is the most important thing that you should do when you are a woman who is looking for a long-term relationship. So, when dating, I have made all the mistakes, but I also, on purpose, I learned from them. So I'll give you an example. So the hardest things that you will ever need to say to someone are going to be the very most important things that you have to say to someone to be able to elevate your the level of connection in your relationships and the authenticity of your relationships. I call this relational alignment or romantic spiritual alignment. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I'll do them in chronological order. So the first example is that when I started dating my ex-boyfriend, he told me that he was polyamorous. And I was not polyamorous. I was monogamous, and I knew that within myself as my truth, but back then I didn't have the inner body awareness to feel that that wasn't my truth. So I couldn't feel that I was living a lie, and I was never saying any lies. I just went with a lie. So my lie was that I could participate in a polyamorous relationship with someone even though in my heart I knew that I wasn't polyamorous. So I'll say that in the beginning of the relationship, he tried to communicate honestly with me that that was the way he dates. That's great. But then I communicated dishonestly by not showing up as myself. So we got into a lot of problems, as you can imagine. As we navigated through, we became monogamous, but he was in his heart polyamorous. So you can see how some problems can manifest there. Second situation. Okay, so now I learn that I must tell the truth more forthcomingly, right? Like, don't spend 4 years like living a lie like I did in that relationship. So I was dating a guy who I decided that I was going to practice this honesty stuff, but I was very afraid of it. So we were at lunch at Mr. Natural. If you live in Austin, Texas, you know what that is. But we were at lunch at Mr. Natural, and I saw an adorable little girl, and I told him that she was so cute that I wish to have kids someday. And the person that I was dating broke up with me at the table right then. He said, well, if that is what you want in the future, then you should not be with me. And he left me. We even had plans for later in the day, and we did not date after that. And that sounds really harsh, like he was being harsh, but I do not find that to be harsh. I find that to be very honest, because then he took himself out of my life so that I could replace him with something that was more authentic to me. So a lot of times, and this is like side note, but a lot of times the hard things that like happen are actually the best things to happen to you. So I told him my truth, which I was afraid of saying, but then he told me his truth, and then we saw that as a couple, we were not aligned. We weren't aligned. So him sharing his truth and my sharing my truth were both gifts to each other. Is basically what I'm trying to say. So then fast forward to the relationship that I'm in now. I had some really heavy stuff that I had been carrying on my heart. It was like this wound of like, I'm not pure enough. Like I'm not, it's just this wound of feeling like I wasn't like good because this thing happened. And I'm not going to share it here. Maybe one day I will. But my current partner, we were dating for a month or so, and I knew that I had to practice radical honesty with him, but I was so freaking scared to tell him because I really liked him, and at the beginning of a relationship, you really want the other person to like you, but I also wanted to be in spiritual alignment with this person. I wanted to be with the right person, right? So I told him the truth. I said, Max, I have to tell you something. This is the hardest, scariest thing I've ever told anyone in my entire life. And he looked at me like, he was scared. But then, and then of course, like, tears are coming down. I need to get like pillows and blankets all around me so I can just feel like soothed to tell him this thing. And with sobby, wet tears, I tell him. And he looked at me like, Lexi, that's it? That's what you wanted to tell me? He's like, Lexi, that does not make me think less of you. Oh, I could cry. I'm not gonna cry. But he said, you know, that doesn't make me think less of you. He's like, just thanked me for that, and he held me, and I shared this like really very scary secret with him, and then by him showing me that he had the emotional capacity to hold space for that, it showed me that he and I were in closer spiritual alignment than, you know, that it was like a green flag. It was like, you can move forward because this person says pass go or something. But what I want to say is that the most important choices that you'll ever make in life have to do with having the hard conversations that you don't want to have. They're terrifying. All of those really scary conversations in relationships or otherwise will guide you to the life that is meant for you. Because sometimes we wake up and we feel like, how did I end up in this life? This life doesn't feel like it's for me. It's because you either didn't tell yourself the truth about what you want, or you haven't been telling other people the truth or acting on the truth. It's not always verbal, it's like behavior. But then once we start to be honest and the wrong things for us fall away, and we continue to be honest, then the right things will fall in. So that's my case for being pretty honest in the beginning, being really, really honest. Maybe between like, maybe it's really dark secrets aren't the thing that you tell someone in the first, week that you meet someone, but within the first 30 to 90 days, it's important that you reveal the real big truths, the things that people really need to know about you, so that they can make an informed choice about whether you're the right partner, and also you can make the right choice about whether or not they're the partner that is going to show up for you the right way. Because otherwise we get into the wrong relationships. Trust me, I know. I've done it. And so I really want you to be in a spiritually aligned relationship. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on radical honesty.